Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry for the little bit of a delay. I had to get some more updates that I needed to get put out for the podcast today. Hope you guys are all doing well. I know I haven't done the podcast in a couple weeks. I've just been super busy um, doing stuff, so I do apologize for that. Please let me know that you're here. Again, I always tell people, please be respectful. We do have family members that will be on. Um, but we always encourage people to ask questions, share some support out there and everything. There are a couple things I really want to address. Again, I feel like I address this all the time about people being respectful and understanding that, we can't let everything out or let people know everything. But also for the families out there and the loved ones, you really, really need to be careful who you talk to about your cases, um, what you share out there on social media and stuff to protect these cases that are out there, as well as people that could be in danger on these cases. So, again, I apologize for the delay. Um, Hi, Finding Brenda. We are going to share Brenda Sicka's case again. Today, we have some help that we're needing in her case, and we're hoping that someone can help us. So we will talk about Brenda's case here in a little bit. Again, I appreciate you guys and all the love and support that you're giving the families, for all the advocates out there that are good advocates that are trying to help families, law enforcement, and all that. So, really appreciate you guys being here, sharing flyers, and getting information out. So we're going to head and go and get started. I really, this first case is one that I will continue to share. Her mom, is desperate to get some information on where is Rochelle Elizabeth Hammond. She has been missing for over 4 years and 9 months. She went missing from Moscow, Colorado on August 15th of 2019. One thing that I want you guys to know is she was not living there for a very long period of time prior to her disappearance. She was 30 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 35. She is 5'6" tall and weighs 120 pounds. She has black, at the time, she had black shoulder length hair and brown eyes. She does have her septum pierced with a silver circular ball bear in it. She does have multiple tattoos that you can see pictured there. She has a star on her left arm, a skull on her right hand, a cat with a bong on her shoulder, live like a lion on her upper chest, a star behind her ears, stars on the inside of her forearms, and then she does have other multiple ones. Rochelle does suffer from bipolar disease and schizophrenia. She is prescribed medication, which was left behind. As far as I know, that her prescription has never been refilled. She is of Cherokee descent. She was last seen wearing a black tank top, khaki shorts, and black Nike shoes, walking away from her home there in Moscow, Colorado, on August 15th of 2019, around 11:30 a.m. Like I said, she'd only been living in that area about 3 weeks prior to her disappearance and previously had lived in Columbus, Ohio area. All of her belongings, including her ID, her phone, her medication, car, her dog, computer, and her tools were all left behind. She might be living homeless, but there is concern. Family does believe that she did not leave on her own accord, and she may be the victim of human trafficking. We are very concerned about her safety and her welfare. There have been tips that she may be in California, Massachusetts, but I want to stress, however, those, have not been confirmed. However, there has been very little movement in Rochelle's case. If you have any information regarding Rochelle's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Alamosa County, Colorado Sheriff's Office at 719-589-6608. Again, guys, if you have any information at all on her case, you can always contact Guardian Voice of the Missing. Please contact law enforcement. Know that you can be anonymous in these cases, but anything would help. The biggest thing that I always love to see that what you guys do is sharing these flyers. You never know. There have been tips on multiple cases that have come from someone just sharing the flyer. So again, thank you guys all for the shares that you do. This next case is Tammy Jo Chipman. She has been missing for over 23 years and 3 months. She is missing out of Tuskegee, Alabama on March 2nd, 2001. She was 39 years old at the time of her disappearance. She would now be 62. 5'6", 190 pounds at the time of her disappearance. She does have brown hair and hazel eyes. She does also have her ears pierced. Tammy was last seen leaving her home there in Tuskegee, Alabama on the night of November 2nd, 2001. She was wearing a green jumpsuit with light green sleeves and white sneakers. The thing about Tammy's case is there's very little information out there on her case. So if you have any information regarding Tammy's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Tuskegee, Alabama Police Department at 334-727-0220. Somebody out there, I think, on all these cases know something. And there are a lot of comments going on the podcast. If there's family members out here, feel free to share anything about your loved one that maybe I haven't covered. But again, guys, let's just keep supporting these families. This next case, I have shared Paul Christian several times on my podcast. He's missing out of Lowell, Massachusetts, and he has been missing for over 2 years and 2 months. He was 41 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 44. 5'8", somewhere around 200 to 240 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. He does have a scar on his thigh from surgery. He was living homeless in Lowell, Massachusetts at the time of his disappearance, and he was last seen at the Lowell General Hospital St. Campus there in Lowell, Massachusetts. There's really very little information out there on his case. If you have any information regarding Paul's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Lowell, Massachusetts Police Department at 978-937-3244. I know that his family too are greatly appreciative of any information that comes in and for you guys sharing those flyers. This next case is out of Miami, Florida. This is Aaron Tapsillo. He is missing out since October 17th of 2008, which makes him missing over 15 years and 8 months. He was 17 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 32. 6'1", 150 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. As you can see, I do have an age progression photo of him. His hair was short and straight black hair at the time of his disappearance. He was last seen leaving his home in the 2000 block of Northwest 60th Street. It is believed that he left on his own accord at that time. He had been known to associate with the homeless community and spent a lot of time out there on the beach there in Miami. He may be in the local area or he may have traveled to Somalia. There are very little details in his case. If you have any information regarding Aaron's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Miami-Dade, Florida Police Department at 305-715-3300. Hi, Ellen. How are you? I hope you are doing well, and we will be sharing your niece's case like we do every week, which we have some really great updates on hers. This next case is Anthony Vincent Cathy. He's been missing for over 2 years and 5 months out of Linwood, North Carolina. He went missing on January 1st, 2022. He was 35 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 37. He's 6 foot tall, 175 pounds. He does have black hair and brown eyes. He has multiple tattoos all over his body, as you guys can see. He was reported to be homeless at the time of his disappearance. However, he had regular contact with his loved ones prior and up to the time of his disappearance. It is reported that around noon on January 1st of 2022, he had had an argument with his girlfriend, and he had exited the vehicle that he was in the intersection of Potts Creek Road and Sesquid Road in Linwood. He walked away, and he has not been seen or heard from since. There's very little information out on his case as well. If you have any information regarding Anthony's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Davidson County, North Carolina Sheriff's Office at 336-242-2100. Okay. This next case, I share every podcast every week. I do want to say happy birthday to Dana Jane Bruce. She turned 39 yesterday. Dana Jane Bruce has been missing since October 4th of 2008 out of Sedalia, Missouri. She was 23 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 39, 5'2", 98 pounds, brown hair, and she had green hazel eyes. However, she was blind in her left eyes. Her hair at the time was shoulder length and wavy, and she did have bangs. She does have both of her ears pierced. She has a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. She has a tattoo on her upper left arm of a teddy bear with wings and the banner that says Dylan. So Dana was last seen wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel in the front in silver lettering, blue jeans, leaving her children's babysitter home. So that night was the first night that Dana had ever went out since her children were born. At that time, her children were 2 and 4 years old. So Dana was a very, very involved mother. She always had her children. She always took care of her children at that time. So this was the first night that she decided to go out. There in Sedalia, there's a bar named Malone's. And at Malone's, it was their 10th year anniversary. So a lot of people were out that night. And she decided to go out and, spend some time with friends and go out. So she had left her children at a babysitter's home, which she had left them there prior, before, any time that she might need a babysitter for work or whatever. And she went out. That night, she was spending time with a young man driving a late model red Ford F-150 truck earlier that night of her disappearance. And he had taken her over to the babysitter's house so she could leave some extra money because she wanted to stay out a little bit later for the rest of the night to hang out with friends because she was having, a good time, which as an adult, we do have the right as a parent. Sometimes you want to go out and spend time with friends, you want to do that. And I know there have been people that have victim blamed her on how she should have just went home or she shouldn't have went out that night. To me, that there's no tolerance of blaming any of these people that are missing, and telling them that what they did was wrong and that's why they're missing. No tolerance for that. Needs to be, handled. Again, Dana was a beautiful mother. She took care of her kids and she loved her children. So the police have identified that man that night that she disappeared with. He had traveled because he was a contractor there in Sedalia at the time back to Atlanta, Georgia. Police did question him after he had been arrested on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. He has never been named public, but I will tell you that his name is out there, and it is known. But police are calling him a person of interest. That has never changed in her case, despite other podcasters that are out there that are saying it. He is still a person of interest. He said that him and Dana had parted ways after they had left that night from the bar. Dana left behind her belongings. She does not have a bank account. She does not have credit cards. She did not have a phone at the time, and she did not have a vehicle. It is unknown if she might have had her ID at the time. Again, I will stress how she was a devoted mother who would never leave or abandon her children. She had also that day had just signed a lease for a new place for her and her children. Some of the things that need to be updated on her that we would like to get out there and share. There are multiple people that are involved in Dana's disappearance. These are people that are very close to her and very well known in the Sedalia, Missouri area. These people have checked out a book on how to get rid of a body. Find that interesting. And they checked it out under another family member's name. Secondly, they were asking where there are pig farm locations that are out there. I have shared this information before. And I find it very valuable to get out there. It is publicly known about this stuff. There is also one thing that I haven't shared, and I am going to share tonight. There is a video of that night at Malone's bar. A lot of people don't want to believe that that video exists. It does. Several people have seen it, and it is out there. And the people that are involved don't want people to know that that video is out there because they are on that video. Secondly, another thing on her case, people continue to lie, and that has been proven with at least 7 failed lie detector cases, tests that were done in her case. 7 lie detectors. These people are still walking around doing whatever they want to do. You know, why law enforcement is not arresting them or taking her case seriously, I don't know. And you guys know I am a big supporter of law enforcement. I really am. But Dana's case is almost 16 years old. When is it time to hold people accountable for her disappearance? Failing lie detectors becoming inconclusive, that's a big problem in cases. Huge. The other fact that there are individuals that are CIs for the police department that are still out committing crimes, including the disappearance of Dana. That is known out there. These individuals are very close to Dana. They knew her personally, and for whatever reason, they decided to, which has been, there is someone that witnessed that night, several people actually witnessed that night, what happened to Dana at that party after she left Malone's. The owner of Malone's has told people that the cameras were not working the night of Dana's disappearance. That has been proven to be a lie. There also, the night after Dana's disappearance, there was a girl that was raped in the bathroom at Malone's. Cameras weren't working then either. Find that highly suspicious. Yet there's a video that's out there. Something to think about. You know, questions to throw out there. And I'm not saying factual, true, or whatever, but to think about it. Why, if you're an owner of a business, are you not cooperating with law enforcement? Why would people leave, shut down their businesses, and leave for a while? I find that very interesting. Also, people that are involved in this case, why would you leave the state immediately and very suddenly to move out of state and end up in Sedalia, Missouri? Other things that people need to know. There are supposedly 2 private investigators that are on this case that have been hired by 2 different family members. I do have information of 1 private investigator, and I'm going to give that information out today. This private investigator's name is Leslie. Her phone number is 626-800-3039. If you have any information on Dana's case, please reach out to Leslie. She can keep you anonymous, and she is going to continue to look for Dana and help get the people that are involved in her disappearance held accountable. I will, say again, with this group of individuals, people are talking amongst your group. They are sharing information, they are giving information, and honestly, what I can say is the early bird is going to get the worm in this deal. You cannot continue to commit crime and think that your secret is safe. There is information out there. All the information that I have shared is factual information. It is out there. It has been proven. And this is information that I think the public needs to know. I believe that her children need to know. Most importantly, what happened to their mother? The lies that are going around that Dana just walked away from her children is a lie. She never would have walked away from her children, period, at all. So again, this is information that is out there, information that is being shared. There is more than one vehicle. There is more than one red truck. The second red truck that is known from people that are living in Sedalia were 2 male individuals that left with Dana that night. There is people that have came forward that have written statements about what happened that night, yet law enforcement is ignoring those statements because of their background. This is something that I've noticed in multiple cases across the nation where people are not taken seriously when they give tips. And I think that is completely wrong. My whole purpose of starting Guardian Voice of the Missing is to give the voice of the missing individuals that have no voice. Cases that people want to disagree, disregard. I will continue to fight hard for Dana's case. I will not stop helping look for her, especially for her children. Her children deserve to know what happened to their mother. And for the individuals that are out there, I strongly encourage you to come forward and tell the truth. It is not right for you to continue to walk around and disrespect Dana and disrespect her children knowing what happened that night. Period. It's time to come forward, take responsibility for your actions, especially for her two children that were only 2 and 4 at the time. And now we're almost 16 years later. They deserve that right to have closure. They deserve the right to heal, to know that their mother loved them more than anything and never would have left them. If there's anything to add out there, please let me know, and I will continue sharing. It has came about, especially in Dana's case, that the facts are the facts, and we're not going to stop saying the facts, and we'll never stop looking. The sad thing and a new thing, which I cannot share all the details, of finding out so much more what happened that night, that the individuals that are involved probably don't think people know. And it is tragic and horrendous what happened to Dana. And eventually we will let that information out. But right now, we are going to hold that information. But I want those individuals to know that we know way more than what you think. And people are not going to stop sharing her story. She has went nationwide, especially on her birthday. So many individuals, so many groups shared her flyer. I want to again wish her a happy birthday and let her know that we will never stop fighting for her to have justice in her case. And those individuals be held accountable for what they did to take a mother away from her 2 young children. Just will not be stand for anymore. And that, in any case that I share or I am involved in with a family, we will not continue to stop fighting for your loved one. But for Dana, this is her birthday gift, is that we will continue to fight and share and hold up justice for her. I'm very passionate about Dana's case. She has beautiful children and a beautiful family that wants her to be found. But there always are those wolves in sheep clothing that are close to these cases and multiple cases that I'm going to share today that you can't trust. And I am sorry for that, for the families that have to endure the pain and suffering of people that are too cowardly to stand up, take responsibility for what you did. If you're man or woman enough to take people's lives, to make people disappear, to punish people for the stupidest stuff imaginable, you will be held accountable. Period. It's all a matter of time. But like I said, shared a lot more information. The lie detector tests that have been failed. The fact that these individuals are working with the police. You have no right to be hidden for what you have done. You have no right to commit crime as a confidential informant. The sad thing about Dana's case is there are other multiple cases in the Missouri area that have the same individuals in her case that are connected to these cases. And all those dots are being crossed and all those T's are being finished off. So I will tell you this much. For me as an advocate, I will continue to fight for every family and every missing person out there of a case that I share, period. No matter what, until we can bring them home. Sorry for my rant, but that's how I feel. Moving on. The next case that I am going to share is Desiree Hope Wangle. She has been missing for over 7 years. She is missing out of Gulfport, Mississippi on June 1st, 2017. She was 27 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 34. She's 5'6" to 5'7", 130 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. She does have her ears pierced. She has a love tattoo on her wrist, hate on the other wrist, Nick on her side of her chest, Timothy on her abdomen, and a butterfly with her name Bella on her arm. Desiree may go by the name Desi. Desiree was last seen on June 1st, 2017 at her last known location in the 400 block of East Stevens Circle in Gulfport, Mississippi. She has never been seen or heard from again. She was not reported missing until August 8th of 2017. If you have any information regarding Desiree's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Gulfport, Mississippi Police Department at 228-868-5900. This next case I have shared before. This is Jeremy John Trudeau. He has been missing for over 2 years and 1 month out of Rifle, Colorado. May 13th of 2022, he was 47 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 49. 5'7", 160 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. He wears a necklace and has a bottle on it that has his mother's ashes, as you can see pictured. He does have multiple tattoos. He has the praying hands on his left shoulder. He has on his left arm, Mom and Jody. Across his fingers, he has a heart defibrillator and a spider web on his right calf. Both of his arms have multiple different tattoos. Some are skulls, and he has a large chest tattoo. He does have multiple piercings as well. He was living a transit lifestyle there in Rifle, Colorado, but he did have regular contact with his loved ones. Police were dispatched at 9:51 a.m. to the bridge on the South Highway 13 there in Rifle with a report of a man had jumped into the river. There have been reports that he jumped and that reports that he had been pushed in the river during an altercation. There was a restraining order at the time that was active against a female that he had been involved with and recently threatened his safety and well-being. That individual was present when he went missing. Police have done some searches the day there on May 13th. And however, the report said that due to the weather and the water being high, they weren't able to really do a lot of water searches with boats and drones due to that weather. As far as I know, they have not ever went back and done another search for him. If you have any information regarding Jeremy's disappearance or know his whereabouts, please call the Rifle, Colorado Police Department at 970-685-6500. One of the other things on his case is there have been reports that there was several things that family feels, loved ones feel that was not handled properly. Like there was some blood on a rock. They didn't test it. They didn't look at it. The fact that they never went back and searched for this individual, just, I don't know, some disservice. It's just really disheartening to hear a lot of these cases where there's not follow-up. There were some bottles laying around, just some different stuff that maybe could have helped get him located a little bit better in his case. This next case is a new case that I haven't shared before. I hope I say her name right. This is Lauren Brittany DeMulo. I think that's wrong. She's been missing over 4 years. She's been missing for 4 years and 1 day, actually. She is missing out of Cape Coral, Florida on June 19th of 2020. She was 29 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 33. 5 foot to 5'2", 95 to 115 pounds. She had brown hair at the time. However, it did have some blonde highlights and it was past her shoulders, but she also had dark roots and she has brown eyes. She had had her nose and her ears pierced. She has a tattoo, Namaste, in black ink that went down her side, NY in her pelvic area, OM symbol inside her wrist, and rosary beads on her ankle. And I do have several different pictures of her tattoos, the best that we could get them done. Lauren had been involuntarily hospitalized because of hearing voices and believed people were after her. She had no previous mental health issues and believed that she really had people that were after her. She was released from the hospital on June 18th of 2020, a day prior to her disappearance. It is reported that she was last seen at her home in the 4900 block of Colorado Parkway on June 9th of 2019 by her boyfriend, Gabriel Pina, who goes by Gabby. However, it is not verified if it was Lauren. Oh, hang on. I went too far. Before he went to work at 6 a.m. It is reported that he missed a Facebook video call between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. However, it is not verified that this was Lauren or somebody else called him. This was the last sign of Lauren. She left behind her cell phone at her apartment, and her purse was found the same day at 4 Freedoms Park in the 4800 block of Tarpon Court, where she had often went. She did not have a car or a driver's license, but the park was about a 6-mile walk from her home. Her shirt was located on July 2nd of 2020 by the water line at that park. The park had been searched several times, and it is believed that her shirt was planted there. Prior to her disappearance, she had been actively looking for employment, as you can see in that photo on her flyer there. That is an actual surveillance photo of her working on getting a job and getting applications. And she paid her rent. She left behind a child as well. Again, here's another case of a mother that would not have left her child. It is very out of her character for her to leave and have no contact with her loved ones. If you have any information regarding Lauren's disappearance or know her whereabouts, please call the Cape Coral, Florida Police Department at 239-574-3223. And again, somebody out there, her story was stuff that I have heard about her story and everything. Just kind of screams foul play, and people aren't being honest in her cases as well. Hi, Eleanor. Hi, Allison. Allison is with Missing Persons Alert nationwide. She has a main page, a United States page, but she also has individual pages for all states. She is a great advocate out there and always willing to help people. Want to do another shout out for Miss Sharon Parker. She too is involved with several different pages as well. She shares podcasts with really good podcasters, but also she will share flyers all over the place. So thank you, girls. I really appreciate you guys being here as well today. So always reach out. Sharon and Allison, if you guys want to put in the comments your different groups and stuff that are good groups for these families to go out and share. If you guys would do that, I think that would be great for our families. This next case is another, I kind of got on a Florida kick to share some of these Florida cases. This is Leah Denise Cabrizi. She has been missing over 31 years and 8 months. She is missing out of Winter Garden, Florida. She went missing on October 24th of 1992. She was 29 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 61. She was 5'7", 110 pounds. She had blonde strawberry hair and green eyes. Her hair was shoulder length at the time. She does have her ears pierced and a burn scar on the inside of her ankle. She does suffer from bipolar disorder and she was on daily medication. She also at the time had been struggling with substance abuse. She may go by the name Nicole. So Leah was last seen wearing an orange shirt and blue jeans, where she was dropped off by her father at East Plant Street and Minnis Road at 11:30 a.m. She had told him that she was going to go clean a house and she would call him later for a ride. She was living with her father at the time but she had never called. But there is a report that a relative might have saw her at 5 p.m. that day in the area of 11th Street. It is reported that she had worked as a prostitute to support her substance abuse, and in her mid-teens had occasionally would not have been seen for weeks. However, she did keep in touch with her family and her loved ones and let her parents know where she was or that she was all right. She was reported missing on November 3rd of 1992 when she was not able to be contacted. She has not been seen or heard from since. There is foul play suspected in her case. If you have any information regarding Leah's disappearance or know her whereabouts, please call the Winter Garden, Florida Police Department at 407-656-3636. And again, I just want to stress, it does not matter of people's lifestyles, work choices, or any of that. These people are human beings. They are very loved by their loved ones. There's people out there that are looking for them. You know, I don't believe in discriminating if people have mental health issues, substance abuse issues, if they live on the street and they're homeless, if they have high risk occupations. You know, again, every one of these cases that I've talked about had regular contact with somebody. And just all of a sudden, poof, they just vanished off the face of the earth. That's not possible. If you are out there and you're missing, and as an adult, we have a right to go missing and live our lives however we want. But the thing about it is if you don't want someone to know where you're at, that is okay. Please contact the agencies or a police agency to let them know you're okay. Let them check that that you're okay so they can close out your police report. And they will contact your loved ones and just simply tell them we have had contact with them. They are okay. We've checked them out. But at this time, they just don't want people to know where they are. I want everybody to know because I know there are missing people that have watched podcasts and they didn't know that they were missing. They didn't know that someone cared enough to look for them. These are things that I feel is important to share on a podcast to let people know that some people may not know that people reported them missing. They might not know they're missing because they're just out there living their life. And that's okay. However, I truly believe that the majority of these cases, that is not the case. And I just feel that no matter what, we need to continue to share these flyers, help out the loved ones, and also just make sure that these people are safe and they're okay. Yeah, that's kind of my soapbox on that. So thank you guys again for sharing. This next case I have shared before, and I will continue sharing. Mark Charles Burleigh. He went missing from Garbersville, California on October 2017. And you're going to find out why I do not have a specific date of when he went missing. He was 32 at the time of his disappearance. He is now 39, 5'9" to 6 foot, 130 pounds to 170 pounds, blonde strawberry hair and blue eyes. He does have a 6 to 8 inch scar on his upper right arm, and he does have broken and chipped teeth. He may go by the name Burleigh. It is reported that Mark was last known to be living a transient lifestyle in Garbersville area. His last contact to his loved one was by phone on October 15th of 2017. It is said that he loved them and that he would call them back later. A friend had given him a ride to see his daughter, who lived around the area with her mother, around October 18th, 2017. However, for unknown reason, he did not drive him all the way to the home of the child's mother to see her. And as you can see in the map, that shows the location where he was dropped off. So he was dropped off there at the top of Elk Creek Road and Dyerville Loop Road. And there is a split there, as you guys can see in the road. It has also been reported that another friend had traded shoes with Mark and stated that he dropped him off in Fields Landing, California, with a 4-foot Red Bull cooler that you can see pictured, which is about 60 miles away from Garberville. This person has changed their story several times about when he dropped him off in either September of 2017 or October of 2017, and the details of what all happened when he was with him. He has left all of his belongings behind. He has not been seen or heard from since. There is a possibility that he was last in Bloxford, California area, which is 28 miles from Garberville, California, up in the mountain area on October 18th of 2017. He was very well known in the Garberville area. There are multiple rumors surrounding his disappearance. Foul play is very much suspected in his case. And if you guys really want to know where this area is, I will tell you right after I give the phone number. If you have any information regarding Mark's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call Humboldt County, California Sheriff's Office at 707-445-7261. This area that Mark went missing, and there's a documentary series out about this location. On Netflix, there is a documentary out on Murder Mountain. This is where it is very populated. There's a lot of weed fields, plantations, whatever you want to call them, all through that mountain area. It used to be where a lot of people would have these grow properties and stuff, and then it became legal. So there's people that went legal, you know, with their grow farms and everything. There's still people out there that not, but it is a very highly dangerous area. People go missing out there all the time. A lot of people want to migrate there because it's an opportunity to kind of go off the grid, but also, you know, be able to get jobs and stuff, because anybody can go there and get a job, you know, with the grow of marijuana and stuff like that. It is highly dangerous. I have watched the documentary series called Murder Mountain, but that is what it's called out there. And this is the same area that Mark went missing. And there are several missing people still in that area up in the mountains, because you get up and through there. I mean, you could go missing up in that area. So I thought I would let people know that that is kind of the area where he did go missing. This next case is Melissa Christine Woodworth Burt. She's been missing for 3 years and 7 months. She is missing out of Alexandria, Minnesota on November 7th, 2020. She went missing at the age of 52. She is now 56. 5'6", 140 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. She may wear glasses. Her maiden name is Woodworth. And the reason I definitely wanted to put this on there are several flyers, which is Burt on there, and there's some flyers with Woodworth. And NamUs, it actually has both of her names. So I just want people to know that, you know, if you see it with Woodworth or you see it with Burt, it's the same Melissa that's out there. She is affiliated with the Minnesota Chippewa Tribe Leech Lake Band. She was last seen getting into an RV without a specific destination with another unnamed individual. It is reported that this unnamed individual said that they had went to Texas, Kansas, and Iowa. It is reported that allegedly she got out in a small town in Iowa. That name is unknown. Police have interviewed this person. She has not been seen or heard from since. Again, this is unlike her to not have contact with her loved ones. She has had no social media activity since December of 2020. If you have any information regarding Melissa's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Douglas County, Minnesota Sheriff's Office at 307-762-8151. All right, give me 1 moment. I need to pull something up really super quick, guys. Sorry about this. It did not pull it. Okay. All right. While that's loading, I want to share this case. Michael Lewis Seals, he's been missing for 11 years and 9 months out of Winter Garden, Florida. September 11th, 2012. He was 63 years old at the time of his disappearance. He is now 75, 6'5", 200 pounds, gray hair, and brown eyes. Michael was last heard from in a voicemail that he had left his ex-girlfriend, and it said, "I never cheated with any of those people. None of those people could say that I did. I love you. Bye." He had a text with parts that said, "In plane and calling the police is too late." He had threatened to kill himself in his plane or to crash it into his ex-girlfriend's house. Law enforcement attempted to locate his plane at the hangar where he kept it at Apoco off of Orange Blossom Trail, where they had discovered his car, which was a white 2004 Cadillac CTS with Florida license plate X51XCA expiring in 2013. They said they had found some blood that indicated that he had attempted to take his own life, but had second thoughts, including a letter. Some items that were found were a razor, a red stained towels, partial roll of duct tape with a note that read, "I never cheated with any of those people." He had 5 hours of fuel in his plane, and his plane, which you see pictured, is that Piper Archer aircraft, missing with the ID number N2453U. They were able to trace his phone to Bellevue, Florida, and then it shut off service and they were not able to get an exact coordinates. They had tracked his plane and phone signal somewhere in Marion County. There has been no evidence that his plane has ever landed or where he was heading or if he ever made it. He has never been seen or heard from again, including his plane or phone still have not been located. If you have any information regarding Michael's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call Winter Garden, Florida Police Department at 407-656-3636. I agree. I hope they do too. Sharon is saying that she shares publicly in several missing persons group. Um, Not that I know of. That is something that hasn't been released. If there was any flight plan out there, that is information that if there has or hasn't, that has not been released at this time that I know of. This next case, I am really calling out to everybody to please share this case and please share what I'm going to share on the podcast. It There's a person that is being looked for, just a question about information that they may have on Brenda Sue Sicca. She has been missing for 6 years and 11 months. Actually, she has been missing for 7 years this month. I apologize. I need to update that. Brenda Sue Sicca has been missing out of Huntsville, Alabama since July 1st, 2017. She is 43 years old at the time of her disappearance. She is now 50, 5 foot tall, 100 pounds, black hair, and brown eyes. She did have long hair at the time with bangs. She does have both of her ears pierced. She does suffer from severe anxiety and depression. She has multiple tattoos. She has a panther on her outer left thigh, a female on her outer right thigh, a moon on her left shoulder, a sun on her right shoulder, and a cross on her back of her neck. So I do have those photos there, as you can see pictured. So Brenda is a veteran and had almost completed her master's degree prior to her disappearance. However, she had been struggling with some depression and substance abuse. She had moved from Florida to Huntsville, Alabama, working on making a positive change in her life. She was working as a bartender and had been in a relationship with a married man whose name is Jim. It is reported that she suddenly had moved out of her apartment at the Overlook in Sparksman Drive in July, which was reported by her married boyfriend at the time, Jim. So, one thing that I want to point out, she suddenly moved out, but Brenda had like some really big, heavy furniture. So, she would have had help moving that. So, somebody had to see the movement of her moving out of her apartment complex. So, I find that interesting in the case that she couldn't have moved on her own. She would have had to have help if she moved her furniture. Her family had started getting emails from her saying that she was in Wyoming and she was looking forward to seeing them in January. However, the email address used was not a known email by anybody in her life to be hers. It has never been proven that those emails have come from her at all. Her dog that you can see pictured there is missing along with her. Her dog had cancer. So, that kind of points out, she would have taken her dog to the vet. She took care of her dog. So it is unknown what she was wearing at the time of her disappearance. However, she does usually wear jeans and like a rock band logo t-shirt with like Metallica or Iron Maiden type thing. There is a $10,000 reward for any information that brings Brenda home. If you have any information regarding Brenda's disappearance, her whereabouts, or the individual that I'm going to show you, please call the Huntsville, Alabama Police Department at 256-427-5476. I am going to show this individual now that we are seeking information. This is Sandy North Wagner. She is a person that really needs to be talked to in regards to Brenda being missing. There's a possibility that she could be anywhere from Indiana to Wisconsin, Arizona. Somebody knows where she is. And again, nobody is saying she is like a person of interest or she has any involvement, but she is a person that people are interested in talking to her. Brenda Sica does also have a page out there, Bring Brenda Home, I believe. They are on here today. And please share that information. You can send a message to that page. You can send a message to Guardian Voice of the Missing, and I will make sure that gets over to the proper people. You can also, comment anything, but we really, really need to find Sandra. Time is the essence in getting her located. It is known that she is not in good health. And again, authorities and people that are involved looking at her case would like to just speak to her to see what she does know about Brenda being missing. So if there's anybody out there, we can get the photo out there if you guys want to share it and let them know to contact. But again, she is just somebody that really needs to be talked to, that we think will have some information on Brenda's cases. Carrie, you are most welcome. And we'll continue to keep Brenda out there. So again, guys, please, please, please share these flyers. All right. I have a couple more cases if you guys are willing to hang in there with me. All right. So this is Shannon Lee Collins. He's been missing for 3 years and 2 months out of Pottsville, Arkansas. He went missing on March 12th, 2021. At the time of the disappearance, he was 48 years old. He is now 51. He was 5'8" to 5'10", 220 to 240 pounds. He was last seen by his wife leaving his home in Pottsville, Arkansas in the morning of March 12th of 2021. He has not been seen or heard from since. It is reported that his wife never reported him missing, and his brother reported him missing in November of 2021, after he had not had contact with him since February. Shannon's case is considered suspicious and foul play is suspected. If you have any information regarding Shannon's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call Pope County, Arkansas Sheriff's Office at 479-968-2558. This next case, I just updated some stuff on Jesse Lee Farber. One thing that I want you guys to know, originally the wrong Roman numeral tattoo that is on his flyer, it may be on his flyer, it may not, is the wrong tattoo. It was actually his brother's. I'm working on getting that updated, but I did get it on here. As you can see, all of his multiple tattoos. That one with the star above it is actually the one that is Jesse's tattoo. The one that had the Roman numeral 1 was actually his brother's. So bear with me. I will get his flyer updated with that. I just got that information not too long ago. And like I said, I've been busy, but I did want to get it up for the podcast. So Jesse Lee Farber, he is also known as Rex. He went missing from Tumpqua, Pennsylvania on August 11th of 2015. He was 29 years old. At the time of his disappearance, he would be 38. 5'6", 138 pounds, brown hair, and hazel eyes. He does have a scar on both of his cheeks from a dog bite and a scar on his forehead. He has a chipped tooth. He has multiple tattoos. Looking at the ones that are on there, including but not limited to a fox on his upper left arm. At the shoulder, a black star with a wreath above it with the Roman numerals 1, 3, and 4. On the inside of his left forearm, a small Ancon symbol, which you can see it on the flyer there as well. He has a colorful dragon scar with the words Black Gothic script on his upper back, a bear claw print on the right side of his chest, a stick figure drawing in a keyhole shape on the left side of his rib cage, showing a scene of a man hanging from a tree. Like I said, he may go by the name Rex. He does have more tattoos and stuff on there. So in Jesse's case, he is definitely missing under some suspicious circumstances, as well as foul play is presumed in his case. He was last known to be wearing a black hooded sweatshirt, a black t-shirt, and light brown bibbed overalls, and either work boots, or sneakers, while he was carrying a camouflage print backpack. A man had reported that he had saw him around 7:20 p.m. walking out of town, heading south on Hunter Street towards a trail that leads west into the coal fields. Now at 9:09, he called his girlfriend frantic and said that several coyotes had chased him up a tree and that he was on Sharp Mountain, which was west of the high school. He said that his battery was dying, come help and bring a gun. The call was disconnected and he did not answer after that, despite her trying to call him. So her girlfriend and her brother went to look for him there around Sharp Mountain with no results, notified the police, who did their own search with no results. In December of 2016, a hunter found his sweatpants in a tree on a remote, steep mountainside near the top of Sharp Mountain, and his backpack was higher up in the same tree. Now, I want to tell you, this tree is described as a small, skinny one, and that there was a lot of taller trees that would have been more suitable if he climbed up it. It was miles from where he said he was, and next to the coal ridge of the cliffs. Shafts, there's multiple coal shafts and stuff around there that are up to 140 feet deep, and hidden tunnels. Law enforcement is not sure what he was hiding from. It is not normal for the animal coyote to have a behavior to chase someone up a tree. There are theories that he may have had a drug induced hallucination or he was being chased by coyotes, which could be members of a gang. Loved ones believe the gang theory and that his belongings were planted to mislead the investigation. If you have any information regarding Jesse's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Temecula, Pennsylvania Police Department at 507-668-5000. So his case definitely has a lot of suspicion of what was going on at that time. You are very welcome, Carol, anytime that I can help. And the only thing that I want to share today is because, again, I just want the families and the loved ones to know, please be careful of people that are contacting you. I will tell you right now, in the missing persons community, there is a lot of ridiculous, unnecessary stuff that is going on amongst advocates, where we have advocates and other people that are attacking advocates. They are putting out false information on those advocates. They are misstruing case information that is out there, which is causing issues with people's cases. There are families out there that are fighting against this, which I am super happy to see the families stand up and, not only support the advocates, the private investigators, law enforcement, stuff like that. But the fact that there's people out there scamming families out of money, they are saying things that are derogatory, unfounded things, attacking advocates that have worked hard with families. They turn over information that they have. They are not out here for the glory to get money. There are people out there promising documentaries to these families. And I just want to tell you, for me as an advocate, I'm not looking for glory. I like working behind the scenes, in all honesty. I know I do my podcast. Allison reminded me that, hey, you are actually in the public eye because you're on a podcast. But I will probably fight anybody that attacks a family member or advocate that is doing the right thing, or a private investigator. There's families out there that have hired private investigators. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're taking the money, and I don't know what they're doing with it. I think that's so unfounded. I think that's horrible, and I think that you should be charged with scams. I don't know. I find it ridiculous. It makes it hard when you're a good advocate to continue to fight for families because of what people are putting out on social media, destroying people's names, destroying their livelihood, destroying their mental health. I think it's terrible. And I will tell you guys this, I have no problem reporting that stuff. If you have private investigators, I'm going to tell you right now, if you have a private investigator in your case and you feel like that private investigator is not doing what they're supposed to do, private investigators are under the Attorney General of that state. You can file reports on private investigators. You can file reports on people that are out there saying they are private investigators and they are not. You can check to see if a person really is a private investigator. You can look up their names. That is public information. Don't just say because they give you a private investigator number or say they're with this agency or they're with that agency. Don't take that as facts. Don't even take for a fact that if a law enforcement agency contacts you. I will tell you that any law enforcement agency that has contacted me, detectives, I don't care what you are, detective, FBI, I don't really care what you are. I will ask them for their badge numbers. I will ask them where they work, what agency, what department that they work in. And I, take the phone number, but I will verify that that phone number is factual, and I will verify whether or not that person really is in law enforcement. I strongly cannot say enough for the loved ones out there. You have got to protect yourself because people will say they're somebody and they are not. They will take information that you've gave them and they will try to profit off of it. I've seen it. I'm seeing it all over the place. Families have a right. They do. They have a right to know that they have some sort of protection, that these cases have some sort of protection. We have people out there that have pages set up that are putting so much information out that is destroying the cases. You have to be protective of your guys' cases. So I just want to point that out again. Verify who you're talking to. Don't give them vital information on your cases. Verify who they are. If you're having trouble verifying, reach out. There are several private investigators that are working with advocates and doing stuff like that are groups of network people. I network with a lot of people that, have some private investigators that are good out there. Also, advocates that are good out there. Just really protect your guys' self out there. But keep your head up. Know that you're not alone. We will continue to, I definitely will continue to keep your cases out there, help in any way that I can, and try to keep everybody as safe as possible. Just want to send love to all the loved ones out there, love to all the advocates and law enforcement, private investigators that are out there doing what they're supposed to be doing. For the people that are behind the scenes, amazing work. Being behind the scenes is always just kind of nice. You get to, kind of do stuff. But my biggest thing is I just want to shout out to the family members that I work with, the family members that I met, the family members that I talk to sometimes on a daily basis. You guys are so wonderful, and I appreciate and am honored for the things that you share with me in your cases, that I keep protected in your cases with your loved ones. And I have met so many great people doing this. And I wish you guys all a safe weekend, a safe rest of your day. I will continue to still send prayers and love to you guys all. Never feel like you can't reach out to me. If I'm busy and I'm working or something, I will get back to you guys. So just know that you're not alone. I think that's the biggest thing. And don't give up hope. They are finding individuals all the time, every day. I think yesterday I shared like 3 or 4 where they have found some remains, and then also located people that have been gone for a while. So don't live up hope and don't feel like you're alone. So I will leave you guys for the rest of the day and not take any more of your afternoon. Maybe some of you guys are hungry and need to eat, so I don't want to keep you. Again, God bless, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.